Hi, my name's John Carroll. I'm the author of The Human Highway Code. This is a book about principles of engagement, about living life with awareness, compassion, and navigation. It's written on a background of over 30 years clinical experience in mental health nursing, alongside my own lived experience of being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. The Human Highway Code, life isn't a straight road. It's more like real roads, full of junctions, blind spots, and unexpected turns. Most of us are trying to get somewhere. We're trying to feel better, do better, be better. But no one really hands us a clear, simple guide for how to move through life safely, emotionally and psychologically too. That's where the Human Highway Code comes in. It's built on a simple idea. The same principles that keep us safe on the road help us. Things like awareness, patience, boundaries, responsibility, communication, knowing when to slow down, and knowing when to stop. Because when we rush, react, or push through, things tend to collide. Relationships, decisions, emotions, even our sense of self. Now, many of you will have heard of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. It's one of the most widely used psychological approaches in the world, but CBT requires readiness, a level of stability, a space where someone can safely reflect, process, and engage. And the reality is, not everyone is in that place all the time. Sometimes people are overwhelmed. Sometimes they're in crisis. The Human Highway Code recognizes that gap. It sits before therapy, alongside therapy, and sometimes it's the starting point that makes therapy possible. It offers something more immediate. Simple, grounded principles that help people stabilize, reflect, and begin to move forward again. Give way, learning when to step back and create space. Keep your lane clean, taking responsibility for your part rather than focusing on blame. Use your indicators, communicating clearly. Check your mirrors, reflecting on the past without getting stuck in it. Don't tailgate, allowing space for others. Mind your speed, finding a pace that supports you rather than overwhelms you. Share the road. We're not doing this alone. Use your headlights wisely, understanding how your actions affect others. Know when to stop. The Human Highway Code isn't here to tell you what to think. It's here to help you notice how you're moving. Just notice what stands out. Notice what resonates. Because the smallest adjustments are the ones that change the direction of everything. Welcome to the Human Highway Code. Let's begin the journey. The Human Highway Code Principle 1. Give way. Giving way isn't just a rule of the road. It's a mindset for how we move through life. On the road, give way prevents collisions. In life, it prevents collisions of the humankind arguments, misunderstandings, and broken relationships. It's about knowing when to pause and let others go. Think of how we often operate. We push ahead, eager to be heard. In conversation, we interrupt. In conflict, we fight to win. But giving way means recognizing that life isn't a race. You don't always have to be first. You don't always need the loudest voice. Giving way is intentional. It means pausing before reacting. It means asking yourself, do I need to push here, or can I let this breathe? It means seeing others not as obstacles, but as fellow travelers. We don't always know what someone else is carrying. Stress, grief, frustration, these are invisible. Giving way leaves room for the unseen. It's not about being weak or letting people walk over you. Giving way doesn't mean abandoning boundaries. It's about choosing where to stand firm and where to step back. It's wisdom over ego. It's saying, I don't need to win every battle to be strong. On roads, giving way prevents accidents. In life, it prevents unnecessary harm. It's the difference between being a force that barrels through and one that creates safe spaces. It's a skill that allows others to trust you because they know you'll listen, wait, and allow room for them to be human too. In every conversation, ask yourself, is this a moment to stand my ground, or is this a moment to let someone else pass? In every conflict, ask, is being right more important than being kind? And when you feel the urge to push, ask, what am I really protecting here, my ego or something that actually matters? Giving way doesn't mean losing. It means prioritizing peace. It means recognizing that while your viewpoint is valid, so is someone else's. It's a way to make others feel seen and heard. And often, when people feel heard, the tension dissolves, the road clears, the journey continues more smoothly. So next time you're at a crossroads, whether in traffic or in life, remember, give way. Not because you have to, but because choosing to let others through might just be the wisest thing you do that day. On the road, your lane is your responsibility. You keep it clear, safe, and in order. In life, it's the same. Your lane is your space, your actions, your emotions, your integrity. Keeping it clean means owning what's yours and not spilling into others' lanes. It's easy to blame others when things get messy. They made me angry. They ruined my day, or they pushed me. But keeping your lane clean means taking responsibility for your reactions. You can't control every situation, but you can control how you respond. That's the core of a clean lane, taking ownership of your side of the road. So how do you keep your lane clean? First, it's self-awareness. Ask yourself, am I carrying old frustrations from yesterday into today? Am I taking out my stress on others who don't deserve it? Am I cutting people off before understanding them? Cleaning your lane starts with recognizing the messes we create. Second, it's about boundaries. Keeping your lane clean means knowing where you end and others begin. It's resisting the urge to fix everyone else's lane. It's not your job to clean up someone else's emotional debris. Instead, you focus on your own clarity, kindness, and integrity. Third, cleaning your lane means being accountable. If you've made a mess, apologize. If you've been unfair, make it right. Accountability is like road maintenance. It ensures that over time, your lane stays in good shape. When your lane is clean, you drive with clarity. You interact with others without dragging old emotional baggage behind you. You respond instead of reacting. And when others see your lane is clean, they trust you. They know you're not about to swerve into their space. So ask yourself, is my lane clean today? Am I bringing patience, or am I bringing chaos? Am I keeping my side of the road clear, or am I letting clutter spill over? Keeping your lane clean is a daily practice. Some days it's easy, other days you'll need to pull over and do some serious tidying up. But when you do, you'll notice life runs smoother. You'll have fewer emotional pile-ups, and you'll move through the world with more peace, focus, and grace. Because when we all keep our lanes clean, the whole road gets safer. And while you can't control how others drive, you can control your lane. And that's where real power lies, right there in your lane. The Human Highway Code Principle 3. Use your indicators. On the road, indicators are vital. They let everyone know what you're about to do. In life, using your indicators means clear communication, signaling your intentions before you act. Without signals, people guess and misunderstandings happen. Using your indicators prevents those collisions. There are a few reasons we skip signaling. Sometimes we assume others know us so well that they'll just understand. Sometimes we fear being vulnerable and revealing where we're heading. And sometimes we avoid tough conversations until it's too late. The key is to remember that clarity prevents confusion. One part of the job is stating intentions early. Another part is matching your words with actions. It helps to keep emotional timing in view. Once people know what to expect, trust follows. Imagine driving behind someone who suddenly turns without warning. That's how life feels when people act without signaling. You don't have to broadcast every thought, but significant turns, big decisions. Emotional needs, changes in direction are worth signaling. If you're going through a change at work, tell those affected. If you're feeling distant in a relationship, say so before it becomes a mystery. Using your indicators also means aligning words and behavior. If you say you'll be there, show up. If you need time, communicate that rather than disappearing. People trust consistent signals. If you turn on your indicator but never turn, people stop believing the signal. So when you say you're going to do something, do it. And if you change your mind, signal that too. When you use your indicators in life, you create smoother interactions. People around you don't feel blindsided. Relationships are built on clarity, not guesswork. It's a habit of respect, showing others that their time and emotions matter. And while it might feel awkward at first, like any good driving habit, it soon becomes second nature. In short, use your indicators early and often, before you change lanes, turn, or stop signal. In life, before you change direction, make sure those traveling with you know what's coming. It might just prevent an emotional pile-up, and it will definitely make the journey safer for everyone. The Human Highway Code Principle 4. Check your mirrors, check your mirrors. On the road, it's second nature. A quick glance before you move, before you change lanes, before you speed up. Not to dwell, just to stay aware. In life, checking your mirrors means reflection. Looking back not to get stuck there, but to understand what you're carrying forward. Because whether we like it or not, we all bring history with us. Past experiences, old habits, learned reactions. Moments that shaped us, good and bad. And if we don't check our mirrors, those things don't disappear. They follow us quietly, influencing how we think, how we feel, and how we respond. Sometimes it shows up as overreacting, sometimes as shutting down, sometimes as expecting the worst before anything's even happened. Not because the present is dangerous, but because the past taught us to be ready. That's why checking your mirrors matters. It's about awareness. It's asking yourself, what am I bringing into this moment that actually belongs to another time? Because not every reaction is about now. Some of it is yesterday, last year, 10 years ago. Checking your mirrors helps you spot patterns. The same arguments, the same triggers, the same ways of coping that don't always help anymore. And once you see it, you get a choice. You can keep driving the same way, or you can adjust. But here's the important part: checking your mirrors doesn't mean staring into them. On the road, if you fixate on your mirrors, you crash. In life, it's the same. Reflection is useful. Living in the past isn't. So this isn't about regret. It's not about replaying every mistake or beating yourself up for things you can't change. It's about learning. What worked? What didn't? What do I want to do differently now? Because the goal isn't to become perfect. It's to become aware. And awareness changes everything. When you check your mirrors properly, you respond instead of react. You understand instead of assume. You pause instead of repeating the same old patterns on autopilot. It also builds empathy. Because once you recognize your own history, you start to realize other people have theirs too. Everyone you meet is driving with a past behind them. Things you can't see, things they don't always talk about, things that shape how they show up. So check your mirrors becomes more than just self-reflection. It becomes understanding of yourself and others. So before you move forward, take a moment, glance back, notice what's there. Not to stay there, not to get stuck there, but to make sure what's behind you isn't quietly steering where you're going. Because on the road, mirrors keep you aware. And in life, they keep you honest. Check your mirrors. Learn what you need to learn. Then bring your focus back to the road ahead. That's how you move forward safely, wisely, and with purpose. The Human Highway Code Principle 5. Don't tailgate, don't tailgate. On the road, it's one of the quickest ways to cause an accident. Driving too close, no space to react. No margin for error, one sudden stop, and everything piles up. In life, tailgating looks different, but it feels the same. It's pressure. It's intensity. It's getting too close, too quickly emotionally, mentally, or relationally without leaving space to breathe. Sometimes we do it without realizing. We push for answers. We chase reassurance. We expect immediate responses. We lean in too hard, too fast, too often. And underneath it, there's usually something human: impatience, anxiety, fear of losing control, fear of losing connection, that feeling of needing certainty right now. But just like on the road, when you get too close, you lose perspective. You can't see clearly. You can't react properly. Everything becomes tense, and the other person feels it too. They feel crowded, pressured, watched, rushed. And when people feel like that, they don't speed up, they pull away. That's the irony of tailgating in life. The more you push, the more distance you create. So don't tailgate is about space. Healthy, respectful, necessary space. Space to think, space to respond. Space for people to be themselves without feeling managed or monitored. It's understanding that not everything needs an immediate answer. Not every silence is rejection. Not every pause means something's wrong. Sometimes it just means life is happening. Don't tailgating also applies to yourself. Constant pressure, always pushing, never resting. Expecting yourself to perform, respond, decide, and cope non-stop. That's internal tailgating. And eventually something gives. So this principle asks a simple question. Where do I need to ease off? Where am I too close, too intense, too demanding of others or myself? Because when you allow space, something shifts. Conversations become calmer. Relationships feel safer. People come toward you rather than away from you, and you start to trust the process more. On the road, a safe distance gives you time to react. In life, it gives you time to understand. It allows things to unfold naturally instead of being forced. And that's where real connection lies, not in pressure, but in presence. So next time you feel the urge to push, pause. Ease back, create a bit of distance, let things breathe. Because not everything needs chasing. Not everything needs controlling. And not everything needs to happen right now. Don't tailgate. Give yourself and others the space to move safely, clearly, and at a pace that actually works. Because in the end, it's not about getting there faster. It's about getting there without crashing along the way. The Human Highway Code Principle 6, Mind Your Speed on the Road, is not just about limits, it's about conditions. Too fast and you lose control, too slow and you disrupt the flow. The skill is knowing the right pace for where you are. In life, it's exactly the same. We live in a world that celebrates speed, quick wins, fast results, instant replies, constant movement. But moving fast isn't always moving well. Sometimes speed is driven by pressure, the need to keep up, to prove something, to stay ahead, to avoid falling behind. And sometimes it's driven by avoidance. If we keep moving, we don't have to stop. If we don't stop, we don't have to feel. If we don't feel, we don't have to deal with what's underneath. But just like on the road, too much speed reduces awareness. You miss things, you overlook details. You react instead of respond. You make decisions without thinking them through, and eventually something gives. On the flip side, going too slow can hold you back, overthinking, hesitating, waiting for the perfect moment that never arrives. So mind your speed isn't about rushing or dragging, it's about awareness. It's asking yourself, what pace does this moment actually need? Because not everything in life runs at the same speed. Some moments need urgency, some need patience, some need stillness. The problem comes when we apply the wrong pace to the wrong situation, rushing a conversation that needs care, delaying a decision that needs action, pushing through when we should be pausing. Mind your speed also applies internally. How fast are your thoughts moving? Are you giving yourself time to process, or are you jumping to conclusions, reacting on instinct? Because when your internal speed is too high, everything feels urgent even when it isn't, and when everything feels urgent, clarity disappears. Slowing down doesn't mean stopping. It means creating space to think, to notice, to choose your response instead of being dragged by momentum. At the same time, sometimes you need to pick up pace, trust yourself, take the step, make the move, because staying stuck can be just as limiting as rushing ahead. So this principle is about balance, awareness over autopilot, choosing your pace instead of being driven by pressure, fear, or habit. On the road, good drivers adjust their speed constantly. They read the conditions. They respond to what's happening around them. In life, it's no different. So check in with yourself. Am I rushing this? Am I delaying this? Am I moving at a pace that actually fits what's in front of me? Because when you mind your speed, everything becomes clearer. You see more, you think better, you respond wisely. And most importantly, you stay in control. Mind your speed, not for perfection, but for awareness. Because life isn't about getting there as fast as possible. It's about moving at the right pace to get there safely, steadily, and in one piece. The Human Highway Code Principle 7. Share the road on the road. It's a basic expectation. Cars, cyclists, pedestrians, everyone has a place. No one owns it outright. It works because people accept that they're not the only one traveling. In life, it's exactly the same. We move through the world alongside other people. Different backgrounds, different experiences, different ways of thinking, feeling, and responding. And yet it's easy to slip into a mindset where our way feels like the only way. Our priorities feel more important. Our opinions feel more valid. Our pace feels like the right pace. But life doesn't work well when it's treated like a one-lane road. Share the road is about recognizing that other people matter too, their needs, their space. It's not about shrinking yourself. It's about making room. Because sharing the road isn't passive, it's active awareness. It's noticing who's around you, who's keeping up, who's struggling, who might need a bit more space or a bit more patience. Sometimes sharing the road means slowing down for someone else. Sometimes it means letting someone go ahead. Sometimes it means adjusting your expectations so that things work for everyone, not just you. And yes, sometimes it's inconvenient, it takes effort, it takes patience. It means you don't always get your way immediately, but the alternative is chaos. When people stop sharing the road, everything becomes competitive, tense, defensive. People start protecting their space instead of connecting within it. And that's when collisions happen not just physically but emotionally too. Sharing the road also means respecting differences. Not everyone drives the same way. Not everyone communicates the same way. Not everyone processes life at the same speed or with the same tools, and that's okay. You don't have to agree with everyone to coexist with them. You don't have to fully understand someone to treat them with respect. Share the road is also about collaboration, working with people instead of against them, recognizing that life flows better when we support each other rather than compete at every turn. It's the difference between me versus you, and we're in this together. And when that shift happens, everything changes. Tension reduces, trust builds, connection grows. Because people feel seen not as obstacles, but as equals. So ask yourself, am I making space for others? Or am I expecting everything to revolve around me? Am I aware of who's around me or just focused on my own direction? Because sharing the road isn't about losing anything. It's about creating an environment where everyone can move forward safely. On the road, it keeps traffic flowing. In life, it keeps relationships healthy. Share the road. Not because you have to, but because recognizing others is one of the most human things you can do. Because in the end, we're all traveling somewhere, and the journey works best when we make space for each other along the way. The Human Highway Code Principle 8. Use your headlights wisely on the road. Headlights help you see and help others see you. Used well, they bring clarity. Used badly, they blind, overwhelm, or confuse. In life, your headlights are your presence, your honesty, your voice, your ability to show up and be seen. And like headlights, it's not just about having them, it's about how you use them. Some people drive through life with their lights off. They stay hidden, they hold back. They don't say what they feel or what they need. Maybe it's fear of judgment, rejection, or getting it wrong. So they dim themselves, stay quiet, avoid being fully seen. But when your lights are off, people struggle to understand you. They can't see where you're coming from. They can't respond to what you don't show. On the other side, some people drive with full beam on all the time. Too intense, too much. To direct without awareness of impact, honesty without care. shining so brightly that it overwhelms everyone else on the road. People don't feel seen, they feel blinded. So use your headlights wisely is about balance, knowing when to shine, knowing how brightly, knowing when to soften. It's about honest communication but with awareness, saying what's true for you without disregarding how it lands for someone else. It's also about visibility, letting people know who you are, what you stand for. When you show up clearly, people don't have to guess. They don't have to navigate in the dark around you. And that builds trust, but wisdom matters. Not every moment needs full beam. Not every situation needs full exposure. Sometimes a softer light works better, a calm tone, a measured response. Because the goal isn't just to be seen, it's to be understood. And understanding comes from clarity, not intensity. Using your headlights wisely also means awareness of others. Not everyone is ready for full brightness, so you adjust. Not to hide yourself, but to communicate effectively. To meet people where they are, not where you expect them to be. And that's where connection lives. Ask yourself, am I hiding when I need to be seen? Am I overwhelming when I need to be measured? Am I communicating clearly or just loudly? Because your presence has impact. Your words have weight. On the road, headlights help everyone move safely. In life, your awareness does the same. So use your headlights wisely. Shine when it matters. Soften when it's needed. Be clear, not blinding. Be visible, not overwhelming. Because when you get that balance right, people don't just see you, they understand you. And that's what truly lights the way forward. The Human Highway Code Principle 9. Know when to stop on the road. It's non-negotiable. Red lights. Stop signs, crossings, moments where continuing forward isn't strength, it's danger. In life, it's not always so clear. We're taught to keep going, push through. Don't quit, stay strong. Keep moving no matter what. And on the surface, that sounds admirable. But taken too far, it becomes harmful. Because not everything in life is meant to be pushed through. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is stop. Stop a conversation that's turning toxic. Stop an argument that's going nowhere. Stop a pattern that keeps repeating. Stop pushing yourself when you're already running on empty. But stopping can feel uncomfortable. It can feel like failure, like weakness, like you're giving up. So we ignore the signals. We carry on when we're exhausted. We keep talking when nothing productive is being said. We stay in situations that aren't working just because we've already invested time, energy, or emotion. But just like on the road, ignoring the signal to stop doesn't make you strong. It makes you vulnerable to crashing. Know when to stop is about awareness, recognizing the moment where continuing forward causes more harm than good. Is this helping or hurting? Am I moving forward or just stuck in motion? What happens if I pause instead of push? Because stopping isn't the end of the journey. It's part of navigating it safely. Stopping creates space, space to think, space to breathe, space to reset. And in that space, clarity shows up. You see things differently. You respond differently. You make better decisions. Stopping also protects relationships. Not every disagreement needs to be resolved immediately. Not every moment needs a reaction. Sometimes stepping back prevents damage. And sometimes stopping is about boundaries. Knowing when enough is enough. Knowing when something has reached its limit. Knowing when continuing is no longer healthy. It takes courage to stop. Anyone can keep going on autopilot. It takes awareness to pause. It takes strength to choose stillness when everything in you wants to push forward. And here's the truth. Stopping doesn't erase progress. It protects it. On the road, stopping keeps people alive. In life, it keeps things intact. So ask yourself, where do I need to stop? What am I pushing through that actually needs a pause? Because knowing when to stop isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's understanding that not every green light lasts forever, and not every moment is meant for movement. So when the signal is there, listen, pause, breathe, reset, then, when you're ready, move forward again with clarity, intention, and control. Know when to stop. Because sometimes stopping is the very thing that allows you to continue safely. And here we are at the end of the road, or maybe more honestly, just the end of this stretch. Because the human highway code was never about giving you a final destination. It was about giving you a way to travel, a way to move through life with a bit more awareness, a bit more intention, a bit more understanding of yourself and the people around you. 10 simple principles, not strict rules. A quieter way, a steadier way, a more human way of navigating everything life throws at you. Because life isn't predictable. There are no perfectly marked lanes, no guaranteed right turns, no clear signs telling you exactly what to do next. There are moments of clarity and moments of complete confusion. There are smooth roads, and there are days that feel like absolute chaos. And through all of it, you're still moving, still responding, still making choices whether consciously or not. And that's where this matters. Because the way you move through life doesn't just affect you, it affects the people around you, your reactions, your tone, your patience or lack of it, your ability to pause, or your tendency to push. All of it has impact, sometimes small, sometimes bigger than you realize. And that's not something to feel pressure about, it's something to feel aware of, because awareness gives you options. It gives you that moment, that split second, where instead of reacting automatically, you choose differently. You slow down instead of speeding up. You listen instead of interrupting. You step back instead of escalating. And those small moments, they matter more than you think, because they change direction, not all at once, but gradually, consistently over time. There will be days where you get it right, where everything flows, where you feel calm, clear and in control. And there will be days where you don't, where you rush, where you react, where you say the wrong thing or miss the moment completely. That's not failure. That's being human. This was never about perfection. It was never about becoming some flawless version of yourself who always gets it right. It was about awareness. Because once you notice something, you can adjust it. You can learn, you can reset, you can try again. And that's how real change happens. Not in big, dramatic shifts, but in small, consistent choices. A little more patience here, a little more space there, a slightly different response next time. And over time that builds something. It builds trust, it builds connection. It builds a way of living that feels calmer, steadier, and more in control. Not because life gets easier, but because you move through it differently. So as you leave this moment, don't try to carry everything. You don't need all 10 principles in your head at once. Just take one that stayed with you, one that made you think, one that you know you could apply today, and start there, because that's how this works. One small shift, one moment of awareness, one better decision at a time. And from there the road starts to feel different, not perfect, not smooth all the time, but more manageable, more intentional, more human. So wherever you're heading next, take your time, stay aware, give yourself a bit of space, and offer the same to others, because you're not traveling this road alone. We're all figuring it out as we go, all learning, all adjusting, all just trying to get through safely in our own way. So drive well, drive thoughtfully, be kind where you can, be steady where it matters, and most importantly, safe journey home.